It has emerged that new proposals made by Lord Leveson would not stop journalists from phone hacking or prevent corruption as Leveson claims it would. In fact, the new proposals would actually make it more difficult for whistleblowers to go to the media and will make it even easier for the elite to hide their injustices. While it seems that the corporate media, specifically the Murdoch Mafia, are free to habitually break the law, the new proposals are misdirected and do little to rein in the corruption that's running rife through the political world, the legal system and the corporate media. It's nothing more than a smokescreen to hide the fact that the establishment are attempting to muzzle elements of the press that genuinely report the crimes and corruption of the elite. Leveson has proposed the creation of a media regulator, and that's caused a massive debate, with both sides missing the point entirely. On one side we have politicians in the corporate media, and on the other side we have celebrities and victims of phone hacking. Yet again we're presented with two supposed choices: accept the regulations of the press to protect the innocent, or reject it in the name of free speech. That is, if we're to believe David Cameron and his billionaire friends. Now on the face of it, it might seem like a good idea. Leveson claims that the regulator would be designed to protect civilians like you and me from unethical journalists. Nothing wrong with that, right? It would have the power to issue penalties of up to £1 million to media organisations that overstep the mark, become too intrusive. A fine of such magnitude would cripple or destroy small independent publications, while barely affecting the seemingly infinite resources of the corporate-controlled press. So let's take a look at more of the specifics here. Leveson wants to make changes to data protection laws to make it illegal to handle leaked documents. Now this is worrying and it sets us on a dangerous path. He wants to make it easier for the police to force journalists to reveal their sources. He says genuine whistleblowers will use confidential avenues rather than feel it necessary to break confidences by bringing around much wider public dissemination through disclosures to the media. So what's happening here is Leveson is attempting to make it appear that the regulators will improve the rights of whistleblowers when in fact he's making it more difficult for them to go to the media. He also says the names of or identifying details of those who are arrested or suspected of a crime should not be released to the press or the public. Right, okay, this sounds like a good thing that will protect citizens, but at the same time it will block vital information from reaching the public. Yes, the public do need to be protected from the illegal and invasive actions of unethical journalists, but this regulation is not the answer because it actually restricts genuine investigative reporting. Without investigative reporting, stories like the Jimmy Savile scandal would never have come to light, or MP expenses on police conspiracies like that of Hillsborough would still be hidden from view. We all know the establishment has long feared a free media and has always fought to restrict it. The only reason David Cameron and his wealthy friends are now claiming that they are against the regulation of the media is because they can easily control most of the media, and in some cases the media can actually control them. Remember that today the British press is controlled by billionaires who use their wealth to buy influence over police and politicians. It is often used as a manipulation tool for the establishment. The free press, and I mean the original free press, had to struggle for its right to speak. It had to overcome opposition from monarchs, parliament and the courts. In the 18th and early 19th centuries, the press was regulated by taxes. A stamp duty and other taxes were imposed to make sure the press did not question the establishment. Between the American and French revolutions up to the birth of the working class movement, thousands of radical pamphlets and newspapers appeared that simply refused to pay the stamp duty. This is the foundation of the free press, and in fact in earlier history it was the monarchy itself who decided who could own and operate a printing press. In more recent times, in the 1940s, an alternative or underground press emerged in Europe as a response to the state-influenced media. It peaked in the 1960s and 70s with the counterculture movement. As we can see, there has always been a resistance towards the official or mainstream media, so in this regards the regulation that Leveson or anyone else might introduce is irrelevant. The voice of the people will always fight to be heard. Real journalists will always try to expose corruption and injustices. We will always fight to preserve the spirit of a truly free press, which has got nothing to do with buying or selling political influence and has nothing to do with protecting the establishment. I think if we honestly look at what a free press is supposed to be, what it's supposed to represent, its intentions and its impact, it is those within the new digital media, bloggers, alternative and independent media that are carrying the baton of what a free press is supposed to be. And thanks to people like you who take an active role in spreading truth and continue to fight for peace, liberty and freedom, who destroy the illusion of power and the establishment of fabricated. Thank you for watching and for all you do in the fight for freedom.